Hi folks, and welcome back. When I left off, I was doing some de-rusting here using Evapo-Rust on that cover that protects the coils, and you can see I've elected to paint this cover on the outside itself. I gave it a nice cleaning first and then some self-etching primer here just to make sure we've got good adhesion to the metal. And followed up, I did not use the POR, Paint Over Rust 15 material, just the detail paint here that I purchased some time back. It's a fairly good match to the old chassis, as you can see. The inside here, I got most of the rust off, and all I want to do here is put a rust inhibitor on, and I've elected to use my Boeshield T-9, a great product here for that. As you can see, I took the water hose here to that tuning assembly and tried to loosen up as much of the crud and crap that was actually on the assembly itself, and what you see here is just the remaining rust. So let's get ready to soak that. You can see I've got my little pH meter out, not extremely accurate, but we'll use that and do some de-rusting here using the citric acid and water. With some thunderstorms passing through the area, I was doing a lot of this outside. Just my shop was kind of tied up with the chassis itself. You can see I had some rust reform here on the tuning assembly overnight. And I've got a little shoebox here. I've already got a pre-made 1 gallon of the citric acid here. It's about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of citric acid for 1 gallon of water. So not a really high dosage here. And we'll just pour it on there and let this soak for a period of time and see what it will loosen up. Then we'll take a non-abrasive scoring pad and try to go over and loosen up the rust here. You can see on my pH meter here how acidic this is, and I've got some strips here as well that I'll show in just a bit. So we'll move this back over to some clean water here, and you can see just normal tap water versus the acidic level there of the citric acid. So hopefully we'll get some positive results here. We'll let this continue to soak, and then we'll just come back and take a look at it here after some time passes. Alright, let this soak overnight, and you can see the next day here we've got some rain here outside. You can probably hear the rain coming down, but before I went to bed, I was able to get some of the rust off using a non-abrasive scoring pad here and kind of going over the metal itself just to loosen up the rust. And now I'm back in the shop, and this was after going outside to the water hose and giving this thing a nice cleaning. And you can see it looks pretty good. I've still got just a little rust there on that left elbow or arm there to the left. You can see that I'll need to do some tweaking on. But I tell you what, it really cleaned up fantastic here compared to what I started out with. Now you can see another view. And this is after applying the Boeshield T9 product that I showed earlier. I gave this a kind of a medium coat. It's a great rust inhibitor, also a lubricant. So it's kind of reminds me of WD-40 with a wax feature to it. So this is almost dry. And now moving along here to the tuning condenser. I'm going to do it the same way here. Since it's so small, I'm going to just dump this in a quart of the mixture itself, along with the associated parts and pieces. You can see here that I took outside and tried to wash as much of the grime off as possible. So my mixture here, I've got 1 quart of warm water, and I'll be using about 2.5 teaspoons, not tablespoons, just 2.5 roughly of teaspoons of the citric acid, and that seemed to give me the right mixture here. And you can see me here just mixing everything up, and I did put a little bit of a detergent in as well here at the end after I placed the tuning condenser in the mixture itself. So let's move forward here and take a look at the results. Back outside here, and a look at the tuning condenser after giving it a nice wash down here with the water hose and some quick air drying, and then dodging more storms back in the shop here. And I'm going to leverage the Boeshield T-9 as well, and go ahead and coat the tuning condenser here, more of the frame and the hardware here, and just wipe it down, just a nice light coat here, in addition to the bearings and everything on the back side, so you can kind of see that glossy look or finish there under the right lights. This will need to dry, and hopefully that'll give it some nice rust protection here for a period of time. You can see I've still got those solder connection points to clean up, and we'll do some testing as well. Now here's a look at the tuning condenser under a light, just to look and make sure I didn't have any crud inside the plates. Haven't done a test yet for shorts, which we'll do. Quick look at the chassis. Here's where I'm at this point. So I've got the rust off the back. You can see my derusting efforts here across the top of the chassis. So moving right along is kind of slow and tedious, and a little bit of pitting here you can see on that right area near the coils. I'm going to let that be. I'm not going to try to paint the chassis. You can see I still need to remove the IF cans as well. Some remaining parts here on the tuning assembly. Thanks for watching, folks.